All right, so CPMs are rising. It's not just you, it's happening to a lot of people right now. And a lot of ecom brand owners don't know what to do about it, and they don't also know how to fix it. So today we're going to be talking about why CPMs are rising across the board right now and what you can do about it to hopefully get your CPMs lower. So TLDR, CPM, essentially, you probably already know this, but CPM is cost per milli, and it means the cost basically per 1,000 impressions. So essentially, it's how much Meta charges you per 1,000 impressions. So the higher the CPM, the more expensive it's going to be to really get your message out there. And really, if your CPM goes up, the whole ad strategy ultimately just gets more expensive, even if your product and targeting is the same. So we're going to be talking about this today. Now, first of all, why CPM is going up is because there's more advertisers, right? Now, right now we, as everyone always says, we live in this information age, right? So the access to information that people have is very abundant. So basically people can easily become advertisers themselves. They can become media buyers and, start running ads pretty easily, right? And so the more advertisers there are, the more competition that there's going to be in total. And so the more competition, the higher the CPMs are going to be. Now, the second point is Meta punishes boring creatives, right? Meta doesn't want this. And because there's so much competition, like I said on the first point, that if you do have boring creatives, you are going to be punished. And I'm going to show you an example of boring creatives versus actual good creatives. All right. So the next point is Meta punishes boring creatives. So because there's so much competition right now, competition is, getting fierce, you really have to stand out. And Meta is going to punish you if you don't stand out at all. And, some KPIs that I think are worth, at least setting is taking a look at the hook and also the hold rate as well. Now, a pretty good hook rate, rule of thumb, is above 35% typically. If you have above that 35%, that is definitely a good hook. If you can get it up to 50%, that's absolutely amazing. But really try to get it above 35%. And an okay hook is above 20% in some cases as well. Now, a good hold rate would be at least a 15%. That's ultimately the minimum you want to go for. Above that, like 20, 25% is really good. So I would set these as your basic minimum KPIs. And if you're running creatives for, over, or around 7 days, or just a couple days, actually, even like 3 to 4, and they're not hitting these KPIs, you might want to kill them and go for a different creative. All right. So now I want to show you the example of a bad creative versus a good creative. So I'm going to show you one that is performing badly right now.
I am a terrible sleeper. Like, I will be exhausted, but the minute my head hits the pillow, my mind starts racing. Intrusive thoughts. Call my bedside table the drawer of broken dreams, because it's basically a bunch of different sleep remedies I've tried throughout the years that do not work. But I finally have my perfect recipe for a...
First of all, her enunciation is absolutely horrible. It doesn't really stand out. She's not clearly speaking her words. I don't even know what she's talking about within the first 10 seconds. That's horrible. Okay. Let's play it again.
I am a terrible sleeper. I will be exhausted, but the minute my head hits the pillow, my mind starts racing. Intrusive thoughts. Call my bedside table the drawer of broken dreams, because it's...
Okay, something about her bedside table. No one's going to care about that. Even in the first part here, there could have been maybe some overlays of footage of like bad sleepers and more captions about how this is about sleeping specifically.
Do not work. But I finally have my perfect recipe for a great night's sleep. My weighted blanket, my eye mask, and the Oslo Sleep Buds. Oslo Sleep Buds thought of everything that you need for a perfect night's sleep. They're so tiny and they fit perfectly in your ears. That's saying a lot because I'm a side sleeper. The app has noise masking or streaming. It transitions to silence as you fall asleep. You have your private alarm, so if you are sleeping...
Okay, so you get the point, right? She's not clearly enunciating her words. Even within the first 10 seconds, I kind of missed the part where she was saying how she was a bad sleeper. And if you just miss that, you don't even know what you're watching. And so there should be something where you should know within the first almost 1 to 2 seconds that you know what that person is talking about. And you can do that with obviously clearly enunciating the words in the ad, but also there should be possibly a visual to also come about with it as well. And so It's just a bad ad all around. It's not performing well. Here's an ad that's actually performing well right now.
I want y'all to see this in real time for anybody who's skeptical, okay? This is my computer chair, the viral crisscross chair. Y'all know that the back part's really wide. This is where my waist stops and my back, okay? Here's the chair. Pay attention. Here's the feeling girl bra that I've been talking about, okay? You worried about, oh, it's not gonna stretch, my boobs won't fit, okay? Oh, wait, missed it. Y'all see that? Stretch. All the way around, okay? It's big enough I can ride this thing into the freaking sunset. Yeah! And not only that...
All right, so with this one, there's less quick cuts, and it's a bit more natural, a bit more organic. And people, I guess, know her for being, I guess, large, and because she also just like, she showed herself as kind of being large, and she sat in this chair for comparison, and then she put on this bra on the chair, which quickly shows how sturdy it is, right? And so it's just a good example of showcasing the product very efficiently, speaking to their customer avatar. Now, before we get to the next point, I just want to mention that I can launch your winning ads in under a week for $0 down. I can produce the creatives in under a week for $0 down. And this is the company I run called Content Creation Pros, where I produce ads for various different brands such as ecom, coaches, agencies, tech, SaaS companies, right? And so I've been producing ads for a few years now, and I'm sure if you are in the ecom niche, I can help you. So book a free call on contentcreationpros.com. All right. So next point, broad targeting isn't cheap anymore, right? So, a lot of people think that Advantage Plus is amazing now and that you need to have it all turned on. Ideally is that Advantage Plus is amazing if your creative is amazing and also you have the ad budget for it. But most small e-com brands, especially small dropshipping brands, they don't have much of the ad budget as well. And so they're in a big pool with a bunch of big spenders. And so because of that, they're a small shrimp. And so it's really hard for them to stick out in that pool. So next point is creative fatigue happens faster. We're in this TikTok era scroll speed, right? Where people are just doing this. You ever look at someone on their phone? It's absolutely crazy now, actually, how they just do this. And so in order to stand out from someone, next time look at someone on their phone. I was on an airplane a month ago, and there was a guy just on his phone for the entire 3-hour flight on TikTok, just doing this, right? So in order to stand out in front of that, you really have to stand out now for the first hook, especially, right? And so, yeah, because of everyone is so used to just quickly scrolling, you really have to stand out faster. And so you need to be testing new creatives as well, which is a strategy that I really think is good, which is rotating new creatives. Next point, fewer buyers, same ad spend. So people are scrolling more than ever right now, but they're buying less in especially saturated niches right now. And ultimately, people are just spending less impulsively. Money is tight for some folks, given the current market, actually, in this point. The dollar isn't really growing. The cost of living is rising, right? In some cases, people aren't going to be spending impulsively like it was 2020 where the printer is on and people are just spending their checks, left and right here. So with all that said, as to why CPMs are rising, here's what you can do about it. So firstly, I mentioned rotation, right? So weekly, bi-weekly type of rotation here. Rotation of ads, right? So you're constantly getting iterations, seeing what's working. Next, hook is key. So you really need to make sure that that hook is going to ultimately stop someone within 1 to 3 seconds. You need to really land the hook. All right. Spend the most amount of time on that 1 to 3 seconds. Okay. Next, and this is a point I made in my first video, which is testing multiple creatives, right? So multiple different styles. So, test different styles. So such as having UGC, there's multiple different forms of UGC. There's testimonial. There is different frameworks, like for example, attention, interest, desire, action, or for example, PASS, which is problem, agitation, solution. I would ultimately really recommend testing like a full pack of ads, because let's just say you're running all these different ads, right? You tested 5, right? And so here's the 5 different ads. You can see this one's not really doing the best. This one's not really doing the best. So, okay, you decide to kill these off. And then from here, okay, you're like, all right, this one has a ROAS of 2. This one's 3.2. This one's 3.1. Let's make iterations off of these now that we know what these winners are and we know what's speaking to our, customer avatar. Let's make more winners in iterations off of the winners so then we can keep replicating this. And then from there, we can even grow our ROAS more by testing the creatives off of that one and seeing what works then again. So another point is pixels. So this is a small point, but I was talking to this brand that didn't even have their pixels set up. So seriously, get your pixel set up. It's super easy. And especially if you're in Shopify, it's so easy. But, I was talking to an agency that didn't even have a pixel set up, and set that up, set up the conversion API. This is going to feed Meta all of the information that it needs. So really get that done. Now, the next point is observing, right? Observing, did I even spell it right? I don't even think observing. Yeah, okay, I spelled it right. So next one is track the hook rate and the hold rate in creative testing. So run the ad for 3 days. At that 3-day mark, see what's working, see what's not, see how the hook rate is doing, how the hold rate is doing, and think about how you can constantly fix and improve things, right? It's not something where you just upload the ads and then you set it and forget it. You have to constantly be watching it. So these are just some tips and some ideas as to why CPMs are rising and also what you can do about it. Hope you guys like this video. My name is Trevor. I'll see you in the next one.